show us the edge. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Trying to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, do you want it all? This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show 'em the proof, show 'em that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
It is. I mean, it's a gutsy win. Coming off a long road trip, a lot of elements play a factor, but they've been playing well. Washington's been playing well. They play hard. They play together, and we gave them some life. And once you give a team life, now their confidence is high, and we had to grind to get this win, but we'll take it.
When you get into a situation like that and it starts going back and forth and you start leaning on your main guys, and Zion and CJ and Brandon just made some big shots down the stretch, and that's kind of what we've come to expect during this first stretch of the year.
We do expect it. We expect those guys to carry us and close out games when they have to. But I thought our second unit, that small group that we went with, they were huge. Defensively, switching screens, being aggressive, the physicality that they brought. They're playing fast, getting stops. And I thought the game in the second half, they had the momentum, and then it shifted back to us once that group touched the floor. And then we went to our guys down the stretch, and they closed it out. So, like I said, it's a gutsy win. We made it a little bit, probably more difficult than it needed to be. But at this time of year, you just continue to stack wins.
To that point, how much do you need Jose Alvarado's energy tonight?
We need it every night. And tonight he came in right away, and you can feel his energy. And that's what he does for our team. And he had a huge game for us.
When you you have like 8 days off and you're 50-something games into the season, is it hard mentally to be present and be locked in as you want to be?
Say that again.
Like when you have when you're gonna have 8 days off, like how hard is it to just be, locked in mentally as you'd like to be?
It can be challenging, but it's why we're professionals, and it's what you're here to do. I think there were a few elements that played a role in sort of our lapse this game. We're coming off being away for 7 to 8 days, playing 4 games on the road. Our first game at home, that first game is always a little tiring. And we got off to a great start, didn't finish the second quarter well, and all those elements play a role in it. We're 1 game away from the break. We're playing against, a team that we talked about it. You have to respect them no matter their record. And credit to our guys in the locker room is, maybe it should have been a higher scoring game or further apart as far as the score, but they got the win, and that's what counts.
And you mentioned the most important thing is getting the win at the end of the day, but just when you look at this game, not just this game, but throughout the season, kind of the ups and downs, the inconsistency, just what's your feel on kind of where that comes from for this team, how it just kind of shifts, from quarter to quarter?
Well, I think we're learning to grow with each other. This group is still pretty young in terms of BI, CJ, Z, especially our starters being on the floor together for this long in the season. So, along the way, we're starting to figure it out, but I think that plays a role in some of the inconsistencies that we'll see from time to time, and we just have to stay committed to working the kinks out.
And we've heard you talk about this before, kind of that coming back from All-Star break, that sprint towards the playoffs, just the importance of your star players kind of setting that tone for when, the games really start having that playoff feel. How important that would be for you guys, the three guys you mentioned, CJ, Zion, and BI, being those tone setters, once that playoff vibe really kicks in.
It's going to be extremely important for us when we get back. That's the stretch run. And as we progress with those games, it's going to have playoff-like atmospheres, especially with teams that are trying to position themselves for playoff, play-in, what have you. Those games are tough down the stretch, and those guys are going to have to set the tone, especially starting on the defensive end. And when they do that, the offense, it is what it is. They can score on anybody, but it's the defensive end that we really have to focus on.
And just in general, just what do you like about where you guys are right now going into All-Star break, and where do you feel like y'all need to improve the most?
I like where we are in terms of we've been able to carve out wins and put ourselves in a solid position as far as the standings is concerned. We're figuring it out as we go with our starting group. And, the improvement is that we want to continue to be elite on both ends of the floor. And it starts with our defense. So coming back, the focus is against these top teams, we have to have a defensive presence. We have to continue to share the ball, which we've done, finish possessions with rebounds defensively and shoot open shots, which we did tonight.
Willie, to Will's point, last year at the All-Star break, I think you guys were 30-29. This year, you're 11 games over 500. What kind of sense of accomplishment is that? I know you haven't won anything, but how do you view it in those terms?
It's a step in the right direction. Each year, we're making improvements from my first year being here to last year and this year. And one of the biggest improvements for us, and I continue to say it, is that we have a healthy roster, pretty much healthy roster. Obviously, we've had some guys be out, but having the main guys healthy helps us. And we'll come back and get ready to go.
And I know Christian's already asked about Jose, but what about the shot in the arm that Najee's given you guys since he's come back from injury these last 3 games?
Najee's been really good for us. His toughness, his ability to get stops, rebound, make plays in the open floor offensively. He's knocking his shots down. He's been huge for us, especially with Dyson being out.
Coach Brandon had another 8 assists tonight. That 7 straight games with at least 6 assists for him. Kind of talk about how he's embracing that playmaking role like any others involved like that.
He's been fantastic in that area. When he sees 2 guys on him, he's a willing passer, and he's trusting his teammates. And that's what it's going to take for us offensively across the board. But seeing BI do it, the other guys kind of fall in line. All right, guys, enjoy. Thank you.
All right, for all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. The Pelicans take care of business, man. They survive a scare against the Wizards, 133-126, pull out the dub, and move forward into All-Star Weekend. Shout out to the fam. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing, a big Q. We'll have Lexxah chiming in momentarily. DC is out tonight. 133-126. Pelicans get the dub, baby. 11 games. It just sounds good, fam. The Pelicans, your Pelicans. That's right. Your freaking Pelicans right now, 32-22, sitting at the 6th spot. They basically are tied with the Suns right now. And they go into the All-Star break, position well. Now, we can have some movement here ultimately later on, but Willie said he liked where they are. Pelicans, man, listen, they got a lot of stuff to clean up, but gutting it out, despite it's not a perfect game. Avia, I hope I'm pronouncing the guy's name correctly. Avia, Denny Avia shot their lights out tonight, man. The guy averages 13 flipping points on the season, and he lit the Pelicans up with 43 tonight. Their shooting was off the chain, man. Let's hit some statistics quickly, fam. as we recap this thing, man. Very interesting night right here. Pelicans finished 49 of 87 for 56.3% from the field. The Wizards 43 of 89, 48.3%. And if you can see the big difference, which kept the Wizards in the game, was that 3-point shooting. 20 of 43 for 46.5%. That is stellar. Pelicans 10 of 32 for 31.3%. And the Wizards were able to get to the line 20 times, converted 17. They're 17 to 20 for 85%. Pelicans 17 of 23 for just, might as well say 74%. Wizards had more rebounds, 41 to 37, 15 offensive rebounds, which also helped keep them in the game. Those 15 offensive rebounds were big for the Wizards. You had Bagley doing his thing early on, then Aviat got going, and Poole did his thing, and of course Tyus got. I said they had a lot of stuff going. Kispert hit a couple of big shots for the Wizards to keep them involved, but not just the 3-point shooting. This team was scrappy and they were hustling. I expected going into this game that the Pelicans would literally just smack down the Wizards. They didn't do that. The Wizards said, we're still an NBA team. We're going to compete. And damn it, if they didn't compete against the Pelicans, man, let me tell you, man, those guys stepped up and they showed some heart against the Pelicans tonight. Anyway, let's finish up on the statistics. Assists 35-34 advantage of the Pelicans. You see the steals 14-7, 5-3 on the blocks advantage Pelicans. 10 turnovers by the Pels tonight versus 18 by the Wizards, but the 3-pointers and the hustle kept them close. Like I said before, you can see the fast break points. Wizards 22-14 on the Pelicans, but just utter domination and points in the paint. 72 points by the Pelicans tonight in the paint versus 44 by the Wizards. And of course, with that win tonight, the Pelicans, they beat them by 20 in the first matchup back in mid-December. They close them out. They get the 2-game sweep of the Wizards tonight as they push into the All-Star break. You see, Willie was happy. A lot of these guys were actually really happy about getting into that break. And you take a look at what the Pelicans did. Big night for Zion Williamson. 36 points in 34 minutes of action. He was 15 of 21 from the field, 6 of 9 from the foul line. He finished with 8 assists and 6 rebounds and a block for Zion in the game to lead them as far as the points. 24 from C.J. McCollum in 33 minutes, 8 of 16 from the field. He was 3 of 9 from downtown, perfect from the foul line, 5 for 5, 24 points, 6 assists and 3 rebounds, and a steal for C.J. McCollum. 18 for B.I. in 34 minutes, 6 of 12 from the field. He was 2 of 3 from downtown, 4 of 6 from the foul line, 18 points, 7 assists, 3 boards, and 2 steals for Magnum B.I. 10 for Vail in 15 minutes of action with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. You know, he was pulled off the court. Larry Nance got some burn tonight as well with Larry off the bench. And of course, you see what Herb did. Herb had a lot of good defensive plays and, you know, played really well defensively, especially toward the back end of the game. Not really a lot of offensive production, just 4 points from Herb tonight in 26 minutes, but he had 6 rebounds and assists and a block in the game for Herb to kind of use his defense there. 13 off the bench from the knife. Najee Marshall, 13 points, 24 minutes of action for him. He was 6 of 8 from the field, plus 20 from Najee tonight. Pay the man. That's all I was hearing in my mind as I'm watching Najee play the game. I kept saying, pay the man. And like, well, how we gonna do that, Q? We got to figure out something, fam. You know, I don't want to look into the future. Now we talk about EJ Liddell. EJ Liddell's not ready. Najee is, and I don't know if he's going to command a major market, but boy, Najee Marshall gives you a lot off that bench and hustle, you know, attacking the basket. He gives you a lot, man. I just love that combination of Najee and the little fella, Jose Alvarado, who did some wonderful stuff tonight as well. Anyway, Alvarado finished. He was, Najee 13 points, like I said, in the matchup, 3 steals and a couple of rebounds for him. Jose Alvarado in 22 minutes of action did what Jose usually do. He come in there, he get 2 steals tonight, a couple of assists. He contributed 7 points to the effort. He didn't hit a 3-pointer tonight. He was over 4, but that plus minus was looking pretty good. Plus 17 for Jose as well. And then Trey Murphy, 30 minutes. He had 9 points. 3 of 9 from downtown. He finished with a plus 15, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and he had 4 really crucial shots or foul shots at the back end of the game, plus a really nice steal. He poked the ball out of, I think, who was it? Kispert's hand, I want to say it was. Kispert, and then he was able to get to the foul line and late in the game and kind of finish off where he was. Was it Trey? No, Trey poked the ball out of his hand. So anyway, man, let me tell you, I just love what happened tonight with the Pelicans in terms of them kind of scrapping this thing out toward the end. We know what time it is with the Pelicans. A lot of these games are not going to be pretty. You expect them to slap this team down, but hey, the Wizards came and it was about it. They got ready. They came with all the impact that they possibly can give to the Pelicans and scared the piss out of them until the Pelicans got right in the back end of the game to kind of get it sealed off. All right, absolutely. Jay Black said, "Win is a win. We got it. So we improved, man." Let me hit you guys, because I'm not going to hold you long tonight with the Western Conference statistics right there. As you can see, family, the Pels, your Pels, looking pretty good, man. Looking pretty good right now going into the All-Star break. Of course, we know that we'll see our guy, Jordan Hawkins, do his thing in the rookie game. That'll be fun. Shout out to Dyson Daniels. He had the tear that happened to him that kind of sidelined him probably for, we'll see, he said indefinitely. We're looking at more than likely probably the rest of the season with Dyson Daniels getting sidelined like that. So, but Jordan Hawkins, man, get an opportunity to shine in the game. It's going to be a good situation for him to get a little exposure there. Looking at the division rankings right now, you see the Pelicans right now a game ahead of the Mavericks, sitting up there with the 3-game winning streak right now. Pelicans 33-22. Mavericks are pulling up the second place behind them, a game back with Houston. We're going to be looking at Houston after the break. Memphis is where it is. And of course, San Antonio is right where they belong, sitting their ass right in the cellar, stinking where they belong. Shout out to Sean and Tasha. All right, so anyway, listen, fam, no preview games. We're going to bounce back at another time in a couple of days. We'll do kind of, I guess you couldn't, it's not a mid-season report on the Pelicans. I guess you could say the All-Star break report. We'll talk about the status of the Pelicans, where they are currently. We'll open up the phone lines, get some comments from you guys, some thoughts on you guys as well about the status of the Pelicans, your thoughts on where they are right now. Me personally, I think the Pelicans are doing a fantastic job in terms of fighting and gutting out some of these wins. Of course, the last couple of wins wasn't like how you would want them to be, but these, I guess, and I can see these are confidence building wins, because these are the ugly, scrappy wins where you find a way to win. That builds character in the team. And we know that our team at times really need to have that character, and that character building win. Even though Willie's learning as well, I guess I could say, I mean, it's still a lot of work got going on. All right, so anyway, what's up, James? Shout out to you, bro. 33. Yes, indeed, brother. Good to see you out there, man. Shout out to you. But yeah, bro, you're absolutely right, man. The Pelicans, 11 games over, looking pretty good. 11 games. That's not bad at all. Lex, what's popping? Welcome on in the stream. Pelicans handle that business. I was just about to do a quick one and bounce out, but let's see what you have to say.
Okay.
Pelican. Now you here now, so let's kind of walk it through. But Pelicans get the dub tonight, 133-126. Denny Avia averages 13 points a game. He lit the Pelicans up tonight. He was hot as a firecracker out there. But in the end, the Pelicans were able to survive the sharp shooting. Those guys had 23 pointers versus the Pelicans 10 3-pointers tonight. So we still was able to overcome that, dominated in the points in paint. Pelicans put up 72 points in the paint against this club. So what's your thought process on the Pelicans getting the dub tonight against them rusty, and I can't even say rusty ass Wizards. 9-win Wizards gave us a scare tonight.
Yeah, it was rough, but yeah, we got the W. One thing that's kind of scary about, when a team doesn't have, I guess, their main players, I guess Kuzma, he's their leading scorer. But, when you don't have that guy out there, that's usually, where everything is revolved around him, you don't know who's going to step up. You don't know how other players are going to respond. So that's one thing, that's an edge that the Wizards had going for them, is that they didn't know who was, going to be stepping up. But, it was a good win. I didn't see the first half. I was actually out. So I actually caught the second half. But I did check up on the first half and saw they were up by 20. So I'm probably going to go back and at least watch the first half going into the third. But yeah, the second half was definitely a lot of things going on there. A lot of miscues, different things, like just small things that they need to clean up on. They definitely used Point Zion, which was really, really, really working in this game. But yeah, I just think they just pulled it out. They pulled this game out. I mean, guys showed up, got enough stops, put up enough shots, hit enough free throws, just made enough plays to get the win. So that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, and it pushes them right into the All-Star break. And right now, and of course, we're gonna come back at a later date and we'll do I guess, a All-Star break stream. We'll talk about the status of the Pelicans, kind of looking over these last several months, and then doing some forecasting over the next, what is it, 20? How many games are left? Like 20? I forgot how many games. 20 something games remaining. In there, y'all put in the chat, James, J Black, how many games we got remaining, man? I think it's
Yeah,
like
they definitely
27
don't
or
know.
something like that out there. I forget. But we looking ahead and looking back at what the Pelicans have done over the last several months, and of course what we can do going into the rest and the remaining of the season when it's crunch time. These last 20 games or so prior to the playoff start, it's going to be crucial for the Pelicans. And we'll kind of do a broadcast where we'll kind of go over that thing, and we'll open up the phone lines. We'll do all that. We'll let you guys know when that'll be popping and snapping off. We'll also talk about, there was an article that was Bleacher Report that I was able to go over, talking about an NBA executive talked about the Pelicans will have to choose between Zion and BI. We'll also cover some of that stuff left. Thank you, Jay Black. 27. I knew it was something like that, bro. Appreciate you. All right, but yes, Lexxah, let's quickly, let me ask you this. With give me your thoughts on this about the Pelicans from where they've come over the last several months, coming into the All-Star break. Just kind of and we'll go over this in more detail when we do that show that I just spoke about. But some analysis on that. What do you think about your Pelicans right now, sitting at a very nice? And listen, I think this is, and of course we left a few wins on the table. We could have been better than this, but listen, Pelicans 32 and hold on, let me reset this because I think that's, yeah. All right, hold on, let me refresh my stuff here. Okay, there you go. All right, so anyway, 32 and 22, and conference 23 and 18, home 15 and 10, on the road 17 and 12. I'm kind of looking, I was looking at the Western Conference statistics, like you see. The only other team that has a really good road record is just the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is the number one team in the Western Conference. So the Pelicans have developed themselves some thick skin on that road, man. They are very comfortable winning on the road, a better road record than home record. They're 15 and 10 at home and 17 and 12 on the road. So what do you think about with the Pelicans from where they started in early in the year to where they've gotten now? With your thoughts on that?
They've been winning, like, in spite of, up and down with the, coaching and, the miscues, like just the, I guess the details that need to be polished with the team. They've been able to win. I think that's really like based off, the talent that they have. I still feel like it's been inconsistent, and there's always room for improvement, and that's not a bad thing. We want the Pelicans to be a top tier team. If you're not looking at, where they are in the standings or, their record, they still do have a long ways to go. Especially to be in the upper tier, upper tier teams. I mean, we're still straddling the fence, but it's basically we've been kind of holding steady within that cluster. As far as when I say straddling the fence, like obviously 7 is the play in, and 6 is, a guaranteed playoff spot. So, it's been kind of like, musical chairs in the 8, 7, 6, and 5th spot, just going back and forth. But they've just been holding steady in those areas. Definitely, I'm looking forward for them to just really make some jumps as far as, the way that they're playing, as far as the continuity, the flow of the game, making it better, making, just the right reads, making the right pass, um, exploiting mismatches, things like that. I'm really looking forward to them like doing that type of stuff, because it's those small details that's gonna make this team a top tier team, and we're still trying to get to that point.
Yeah, and like we've been through so much with the Pelicans over the last several years that we have to, and I try to do my best job to remember all of the injury stuff that happened with this team that kept them from playing consistently together over a stretch of period of time in terms of
Mhm.
games. And now we finally got it this year. So we want to be able to see this team gel, and we finally see everything that they had finally there. Of course, Dyson, he gets hurt and he's out indefinitely. But outside of that, the Pelicans just are a sight, man. With everything they have, Zion is healthy, Bi is there, CJ is there, and seeing those guys operate, plus Herb Jones and how he matured in this game,
Mhm.
them finally figuring out how to use Valanciunas in a way which is productive for the team and gets everybody involved. And of course, the full out maturation of the bench. You got Larry Nance, his role, Najee Marshall, Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, those guys getting involved off the bench, the second line unit. So we knew over the last several years, we were patiently waiting, even to a point where we just became really impatient with this team. But ultimately, we see them bear fruit, and where they are in the standings, man, is just what it is. So, like I said, this is even though it's they hit the term ugly wins. I think it's a character building win. Anytime you have a team that we know styles make fights, and some of this stuff that some of these teams they get up and play, man. And Washington came to play tonight. The Pelicans found a way to win the game. They scrapped it out with them, survived the scare, went into the All-Star break, get some rest, and then get ready to come back on the other side of this thing. So I think it's a positive overall we'll be seeing, and let's just keep these guys healthy. And I seen Amy sitting over there behind the bench right there. So shout out to Amy and the staff, man, operating. Even though I know Lex, when they took Zion out around the 4-minute mark, I know you was kind of
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
that's what
typical.
happened.
That's typical Willie. I
Oh yeah,
mean, there's a lot of things I saw, but I'm keeping a lot of things general. You know, like I said, I mean, the goal is to improve. Um, I hope that I just don't want the team to be complacent. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Don't relax. Don't think that you got it going. You want to get better. You want to continue to grow. And so, we just don't want to settle for this right here. This is cool and everything, but there's more of it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So, I mean, that's my biggest thing. Don't be complacent. Don't be complacent.
Yeah, Jay said he had to sit. Yo,
Hey,
this the
James,
dang knew they do
James,
that. They picking
we
that.
we
How
got
they do that.
we got to start playing them like, towards the end of the games, man. Like he shouldn't be coming out, man. I mean, think about like somebody like LeBron coming out like that. That's a no-no. You can't have a player like that coming out, especially when the game's that close. In order for Zion to get to that where he needs to be at, he's got to play. You know what I'm saying? If the man is healthy, let him finish the game, especially when the game is close like that. Because that was kind of like, okay, they didn't have an answer for him at all. And I think they cut it to like 3 or something like that. And it was like 145. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I just,
I know, I know it was coming sooner or later, but I have to think that once we clear the All-Star break, I have to think to a degree that a lot of that kind of lessens up as we get closer and closer to the playoff race. I think that approach is to kind of keep him. They're just gun shy. That's what that is. Over the last several years, they're really gun shy with Zion and all of these multitude
Yeah,
of
they
different
real
issues that
scared.
he's had. So they're taking a really cautious approach and how they deal with Zion to get him to that area of the season where
But
we
we
can.
got a physical therapist now. That's the difference.
We do. We
You
might
know
need
what I'm
2 of them.
saying? That's all the team needed. But playing them scared is just as bad as like overplaying them. But so I mean, it's the same thing. In order, that's just like when people were saying like because I had been saying that he's been playing restricted minutes,
Yeah.
but they haven't been calling it that. They haven't said that or anything. I'm just looking at the minutes and it's like, okay, averaging 27 between 30 minutes of playing time is kind of interesting. But like you cannot replicate the NBA game in order to truly get in shape, because nobody in the NBA comes in the season in shape. Like you actually have to play
Play
that
your way in
NBA up and down game to get in shape. You can do all the off, training, off court, all that stuff in the off season, but it won't replicate that NBA gameplay. So, I mean, in order to get in, basketball shape, you got to play basketball. And there was a lot of hiatus. And in a lot of regards, there's still a lot of hiatus. So
All right, here we go, Lex. Let me get a little of Zion. He did his interview tonight. Let's play a little of Zion and hear from him. Here we go.
okay.
What was that like? What was that one like to be part of it, guys? Go up 20, lose it, and then get it back.
We got to stop doing that, man. We got to stop. I'll be the first to say it. As a team, we got to stop doing that. And I think that started with me, B, and CJ. But truth be told, we got to stop doing that. When we get a lead, especially if we want to make a deep run in the playoffs, we got to be able to maintain leads.
As you guys head into the All-Star break, 11 games over 500, what's just your evaluation of where this team is at and where you can be in a few weeks, you think?
I mean, think about what you just said. You said we're 11 games over 500. And I'm saying we got to learn how to maintain leads. So if we were able to maintain leads, we would probably be 14, 15, 16 games over 500. So I think we're in an okay spot, but when we come back from break, we got to be able to fine-tune some of those small nuances in the game.
What are you seeing that's kind of leading to some of these leads, fading away in the next couple games?
Like I said, it start with that first group. It start with me, B, and CJ. Like, we can't come out the game the first quarter and the start of the third and just starting off slow, and then the second unit bail us out. We got to start that, and we got to be able to keep a lead.
Yeah, obviously you guys have dealt with some ups and downs this season, but to be at this point going into the All-Star break, just what's your feel on where you guys are as a team, the potential you have going into the stretch run?
What do y'all think? I'm curious. What do y'all think? Y'all experts, man. Like, talk to me. Y'all, come on, man. Y'all tell me, man. I think we're in an okay spot. Like I said, when we come back from break, we got to fine-tune those small nuances in the game, especially if we want to be a championship-level team.
And you talked to us, after you guys went to the playoffs a couple years ago about wanting to be in those big games, wanting to be on that stage when you guys come back. It's going to be that sprint down to the end of the season. How much are you just looking forward to being part of those games and seeing what you guys have as a team?
I'm excited. I haven't been available for this part of the season since my second year. So just to be available is God bless for that. I'm just excited. Like, I love hooping. And like I say in a lot of interviews, I love competitive hooping. So, we do what we got to do to make the playoffs. I'll be real excited about participating.
What did you think about DJ's performance? I think he scored 43 points against you guys. And I don't want to tell you what his previous career was before tonight.
I mean, start to finish, he played a great game. And he did it on both ends of the floor. Even when his team was down, his energy was still high. So, I mean, you got to give respect to a player like that, just keeping his teammates in the game and just, I mean, doing what he did tonight.
As you go back to what Will asked, you said how excited you are. Does every game mean a little bit more to you? Because, you know, you're still building towards, are you even 100% yet? I'm not sure. But to be able to think that you're going to finish the season and you guys are trending the right way as a team.
Y'all tell me, man. Like, y'all been writing it. Y'all tell me, man. I'm playing. I'm excited. Each game does mean a lot. Because like I said, I haven't been available for this part of the season since my second year. So, I mean, it's a credit to all the hard work me, the team, and my circle have put in for me to be available to this point. So, stay the course and just stay available.
What would you say you feel physically today? I think last time we talked, you said like 88, 89, 90, if I remember right.
You know, the real Zion, I know we good to go when I'm like, not 100, but 110, 115. When I'm doing things that aren't normal constantly, that's when I know I'm back to where I need to be. So I'll say I'm about like 93 right now.
See, I know you just said you're excited, but where are you mentally? Because this is, you're heading towards playing most games in the season.
Like I said, man, y'all tell me, man. Y'all know this better than me, man. I'm excited. Like I said, God bless. I'm even able to be in this position because it's been a rough 3 years. And nobody couldn't walk in my shoes for me. So nobody can really understand what I've been through. So I'm excited for the journey. Like I said, stay the course and stay available.
So you had it going in the fourth quarter. That was the point when Coach wanted to sub out with Larry. You waited.
Who's this? See, you. I'm playing, man. Go ahead.
You had to go in the fourth quarter, and Coach wanted to sub you out with Larry, but you waved them off and immediately went and got a bucket. Knowing how many, close games early, what kind of went the other way, was that you just trying to stay in the game and kind of finish it off the right way?
Yeah, I was trying to get the win. And Coach trusts me with situations like that where he'll ask me if I need one or if I can rock out, and I just said, nah, I'll stay. You guys enjoy your night.
All right. Shout out to Zion, man. And here go BI about to sit down and talk. My bad, CJ. Let's hear a little bit from CJ tonight. Here we go.
Just big picture, you guys are 11 games, above 500 going into the break. Are you pleased with where you guys are at right now? What's your evaluation of where you are at?
I'm just happy I get a break. I'll figure that out, maybe Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. But right now we're just, doing what we're supposed to do, trying to get healthy. Trying to take advantage of home games, trying to continue to extend our record and move the standings. But I didn't evaluate the season right after the game ended. I just was, looking forward to going home.
I mean, once you get past that All-Star break, I mean, it really feels like a sprint as you head into the postseason. I mean, just how, I guess, locked in do you need to be during that time for kind of that stretch run?
Yeah, you got to give yourself a mental, physical break. The body is beat up, worn out. I'm sure you guys feel it from traveling. Just a lot of games. We ain't been home much the last 3 weeks. So try to give your body a little break, get treatment, kind of tighten up some things you need to tighten up from a skill set standpoint. And then you understand you're not at the halfway point. It's only 20-something games left. I think we start off 5-7. Well, out of the break, we got 5 games in 7 days. We got a back-to-back. That was it, Thursday, Friday, back-to-back. And then we play, I don't know, like 6 games in like 15 or 16 days. So then we get a little break. And that's when you can ramp up and do more working out and stuff. But I think for me, it's just about understanding what we got to do. Trying to win games at home, beat teams under 500, and compete on the road and continue to give ourselves a chance to not be in the playing game.
Yeah, you guys are obviously in a good spot. One of the best records franchises ever had at this point in the season. But there's obviously still some inconsistency, some up and downs at certain points. I guess, what's your feel on what's the root of some of that and what needs to be done to fix it?
Yeah, I think we're just figuring ourselves out. Coaches are figuring out lineups, and we just got to do a better job of extending leads. But I think the good thing is that you figure out ways to win ugly sometimes, and you don't really remember these ugly wins. You remember the ugly losses, right? So just continue to figure out ways to win those games and learn from some of the late game blunders we've had throughout the season. And you win some of those on the back end of the schedule and give yourself a chance to get close to 50 wins.
It looked like it was going to be an easy night. You were up 20 in the second quarter.
Yeah.
It turned tough. What changed? What was your takeaway from coming out?
We didn't get stops. I think that was a part of it. They hit 21 threes. They got to the free throw line. A dude had 40 something on us, and he averages 13. So stuff like that happens. It's going to be a difficult night.
And Christian mentioned kind of that sprint to the end of the season. You've experienced that a bunch of times, just knowing how the rest of the league kind of picks up their game in anticipation of the playoffs.
Mhm.
How important is it going to be for you to see and the guy to kind of set that tone for how those games are going to feel down the stretch?
Yeah, we know what needs to be done. We've been here before, where we had to play in must-win environments, playing games, must-wins on the road, for seeding and stuff like that. So we'll be ready.
CJ, a lot of players get a real break coming up. But you as president, I'm sure it's a little bit different. Can you give us a glimpse as to what you're facing over the next week or so?
Not ideal for me and my household, but I'll be there about 48 hours, and I got to get out of there. So I'll be there for 48 hours. Back to the family. Happy Valentine's Day, baby.
Thanks, CJ. Have a good break.
Enjoy the break, man.
All right. Shout out to Zion and CJ, man. As you can see, CJ looking real tired, man. That break is pretty good for him right now. All right. So anyway, Lex, coming back to you. You heard Zion. What are your thoughts on Zion? You talked about the Pelicans have to maintain lead. Even gave a percentage on how he feels that he's back. He had a really good performance tonight as well. So what are your thoughts on Zion? And what he was kind of breaking down there. What are you thinking?
I mean, I agree with everything he's saying. Definitely, he recognizes it. Again, there's more that they can improve upon. He referred to it as the small nuances, but yeah, they got to clean up on some things. And actually, he went to another. I said top tier, but he said to be a championship contender. And if that's the goal with him and the locker room, the team's going to have to continue to improve and get better in a lot of areas. So, I mean, that makes sense. So, just taking accountability and we know how the Pelicans been doing with double-digit leads. They've had double-digit leads, like I think it's 10 double-digit leads, and they lost them, end up losing the game. Like, and he even said that, they could be 16 games over 500, so, it's again, those small details, if they can clean those things up and maintain and extend those leads, the record and the seeding would be way better than what it is right now. So, I mean, that just goes to show that the upside of what the team on how the team can improve. But yeah, definitely, 93, Zion still, I mean, he knows his body best. Again, we have a physical therapist, so, definitely Amy's been doing her thing along with, his inner circle and, the team around him as far as, just being available. And I kind of figured that, like, being available was the number one thing for Zion. Just being out there on the floor because of how much time he's missed, which makes sense. He knows he hasn't been available, so availability is the biggest thing. I don't think he's really much thinking about anything else, obviously the all-star and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think for him, it was just being available. And maybe next year, that can be like a goal. But for right now, the number one thing is just being available. And, he's been doing that. So that's definitely a plus and a blessing as well, like he said. But definitely on a side note, man, they need to fix that audio, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even hear the questions. I'm straining to hear the questions. and I gotta, try to figure out what the question was according to their answers. But
Yeah,
that's
they
been a
don't.
problem for some years now.
Yeah, they don't give the press mics. Usually they'll have a guy that stands up there and kind of give the mic to whoever, or they'll pass the mic around so they can be heard, or
Yeah,
something to that degree. So
man, that is so cheap, man. It's like, ain't y'all $1 billion corporation? Y'all can't get us no
yes,
mics.
yes, they are. Yeah, they're $1 billion corporation,
You
but
know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But yeah, that just bothers me because I'm straining my ears just to hear what they're asking, what the questions, all that stuff. So, um, but yeah,
yep,
I'm glad the team gets a break, and hopefully they can continue to watch film. Obviously take some days off, heal up and all that good stuff. You always want to do that, but also maybe like watch some film, so they can tighten up on the chemistry, just continuity of the game and polish up all the details.
right. Well, I agree. I think this is the time the Pelicans listen. Right now, 33-22, fam, sitting at number 5 right now in the West race here, and that's pretty good for the Pelicans, And 7-3 over the last 10, winners of 3 in a row, and winning, like we said, some of these ugly games, as CJ termed them. But like I said, these are character building wins, and having the and getting them into the playoff window. I think that's the focal point when we talk about the Zion stuff and everything else. But fam, I mean, it's just I think they'll continue to improve. Now, in terms of Willie's adjustments and his calls, I mean, I think Willie I think the team will get better as they move forward. Now, 50 wins. CJ made mention of maybe a push toward 50 wins. Let me ask you, and let me ask this to the fam too. What do you guys think? You guys think that the Pelicans? I mean, that'd be kind of tough order to get 50 wins, man. With 27 games remaining, that means, well, actually, I guess it's possible if they stay on the game. But how many? Let's just kind of do that quick. What do you guys think the Pelicans are in the season on in terms of the regular season? How many wins do you think that they'll get? I know that's a kind of a futuristic
Hard to
question.
say.
Say again, Lex.
I said that's kind of hard to say.
I know that's why I was like in my head. I was like, man, because CJ made mention of maybe they could push toward 50 wins depending on how they play. If they can clean up some of
Yeah.
the stuff that they did, I mean, man, it's
They
interesting.
they would really have to come out and play to make a statement every single night. Like that's where they're at right now. Like it's either do or die. Like the rest of these games is definitely
Thank you, J. Cole.
preparation for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're preparing. That means every possession matters. Coming out with the right energy matters. Maintaining that energy or exceeding that energy matters. Like you can't have, these hiatus, where mental lapses, or where you're just taking off, or you know you're just laid back or going through the motions, uh you know during quarters or every other quarter or something like that. It's like you have to understand, because again, that's mentally making you stronger, preparing you for what's to come, because in the playoffs everything's going to matter, every single detail, everything. If you miss that rebound, that could be the difference between a win and a loss. And the same thing with free throws. And Big Q, you always talk about free throws. You know what I'm saying? We got to continue to improve, because like right now, after coming back from this All-Star break, it's flat out preparation. Flat out preparation. Everything is going to matter. Like it's time to like really tighten up on a lot of stuff. If going far in the playoffs is what you guys are trying to do, and that's what you're trying to do, then you got to put the action behind it and play and go to a whole nother level as far as, playing, because you can't get ready when the playoffs come. You have to be ready by that time, because there's going to be new things that present themselves, especially by this team not having that playoff experience.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I talk a lot about keeping the turnovers down, about hitting the free throws when you get there, just the fundamental stuff that that you would team. And like I said, we often think about it, but I don't remember what the record was. Stephanie, anybody remember? Some of our Pelican historians in the building. What was the record at half last year? I forget. But you're absolutely right. The really good teams are, the competing teams. They do the things. They take advantage of when other teams have mistakes and miscues. They take advantage of those to their benefit. So I just love how the effort that the Pelicans played with tonight, because even though we knew that this other team was just red hot shooting the ball all the way around, the Pelicans never gave up. Jose Alvarado came in there with Najee Marshall, and CJ mentioned it about the bench. And actually, it was Zion that made mention of it in his first couple of lines when he was opening up his presser, about how the second line changed the energy of the game. And that's what they do. That's what Jose, Najee, and guys like that do. The second line come in, Jose, Najee, Trey, Larry, those guys come in and they put the work in. The second line put the work in, and they make things happen. So it was we just have a really
Big Q. What happened?
All right, you guys still here? You still can hear me?
Oh yeah, now we can. You just stopped in the middle of the sentence.
Oh yeah, I think something happened with my Wi-Fi connection. I don't know, but all right. But anyway, with that being said, Lex, you have any commentary before we close out the stream? And remember, family, we'll be back here. And y'all just hit your notification bells. We'll let you know when that'll pop up again. We'll do a at the break stream. We'll open up the phone lines. We'll talk about the Pelicans over the last several months and from that point to this point. And then, of course, we'll do some forecasting into beyond the All-Star break and into the rest of the regular season on what potentially could be with the Pelicans. We also talk about some other things and cover some few articles about NBA execs and what they believe about what the Pelicans will need to do in terms of Zion and BI from a contractual standpoint. But Lex, anything you want to say before we close the stream?
Oh, you know how we were winning but I guess one way, and that was via blowout. Well, now we can say we're winning two ways. We're winning ugly games. So that's a
Yes.
plus.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So we can win ugly games and we can win blowout games. I know we had won a close game against the Spurs, because that was I think 1 or 2 points. But, that's probably the next thing, is being able to win close games, because that is definitely coming.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. 27 games left in the rest of the NBA regular season before the playoffs are here. 27 games, family. Of course, we'll get through it after the All-Star festivities. Jayhawk will be in the rookie game, the Rising Stars game. Good to see him. Shout out to Dyson Daniels. He'll rehab, and perhaps I don't think he'll be back for this year. I think more than likely that's a next year thing with Dyson, unfortunately. But in the end, the Pelicans, man, doing good at the break, man. Really proud of them for putting that work in. And like I said, 33-22, our Pelicans are at the break, man. 11 games over, which is pretty good, man. No doubt about it. So anyway, with that being said, we'll punch out on that. Listen, I appreciate all the family members for chiming in on tonight's stream. Y'all hit the like button. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button. And by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. The Pelicans handle business 133-126 against the Washington Wizards. They get the dub as we go into All-Star break. So like I said, hit the notification bells as well. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be back in in a few days from now. And y'all, we'll let you know, and we'll cover all stuff. Yeah, Lex.
Did DC have his premiere today? Is that why he ain't here?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. You know, and
Because One Love came out.
right. And notice he ain't nowhere to be found. You see, he could have squashed all this. He perpetrates all of this.
Wow.
Y'all
Y'all heard it here. Look,
nowhere to
you
be
see
found.
his premiere movie, One Love. Y'all go check it out, all right?
Check out DC's movie, man. He representing on that. All right, y'all. So we're gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Much love and go Pels.
Go Pels.
Show us the edge. Yes. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Trying to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge. Play with the edge. Show me the edge. Play with the edge. Show me the edge. Show me the edge. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, and see the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning time to come up and bring out the apple. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, do you want it all? This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show 'em the proof, show 'em that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section